Well, one thing I will agree on with pretty much everyone and what they've been saying is I think it's harsh, but I think it was harsh for them to give him the job in the first place. I think they set him up to fail. I think they set him up to fail. The owners. Dwight, do you disagree with that already, Dor? Is that out of order
You didn't say
already?
that
Or?
2 weeks ago.
Yes, I did. If you go
No, you
back, I
didn't.
actually did
No, you
say,
didn't.
Dor.
No, you didn't.
I
No, you
said they should
didn't.
never have given him the job in the first place,
No, you didn't.
and that he was already. Yeah, I did,
You didn't.
and I
I'll
stand
look
by
at
it.
receipts. I'll look at receipts
They
and I'll send
set,
you.
please do, please do. They set him up to fail because no Leicester fan wanted Steve Cooper. Maybe one or two out of what 32,000 that go in the KP, but not many at all wanted Steve Cooper. Some people will say it's because of the Forest connections. Yeah, I'm sure that played a part. But I think it was uninspiring, and people will say we were delusional for wanting Ruud van Nistelrooy, Graham Potter, all of this in the summer.
You didn't want Ruud in the summer, bro.
We were linked with him in the summer. We were linked with him, and people did want him over Cooper. Cooper was at the bottom of everyone's list out of all the names that were linked, and we ended up with the guy that was at the bottom of the list. Now, some arguments from people are saying that he was the only one that wanted the job. I think it's very naive to think that only one man wanted the Premier League manager's job. I think that's really naive.
But you did have the points deduction looming at the time.
Of course,
mate. There wasn't many people willing to take that job.
So you still think do you think Steve Cooper was the best option? Because I don't think
So who else was he though?
Who was Ruud van Nistelrooy? Ruud van Nistelrooy was there from the start. He was available.
Well, I don't think that's credible because he was on his way to Burnley before Man United swooped in. So why was he on his way to Burnley?
Thank you, Joe.
He was going to go to Leicester.
Apparently on the way to Coventry 2 weeks ago, but he's at Leicester, isn't he? So I think it's naive to say Steve Cooper was the only man that wanted the Leicester job, and so we just got to give him credit just because he took the job. But again, I will go back to it. He should never have been given it in the first place. And the difference now. And I did actually say on a live stream, so before you say it's not true, Dor, that I said this, it is true. I said it last week.
I'm just saying from the WhatsApp group. I'm not saying from whatever stream.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know that I did say this. I felt last week. I felt sorry for him a little bit because I've seen every single Leicester fan get behind Ruud van Nistelrooy from minute one, and it never happened, including myself. It never happened with Steve Cooper. So. The argument
is a different guy than on the WhatsApp group.
The argument from Dor, and the argument from Joe about how we should just aim for 17th and we're currently 16th and we were 16th when Cooper was sacked. We believe, and clearly the owners believe, that we were going down. We were heading towards the relegation zone. The performances were poor. The games that we did win, I mean, Sam's on the panel. I don't know what Sam thought to the game against Bournemouth, but I'm pretty sure he'll probably tell you that Leicester were very lucky to win it. Yeah. And Southampton, we could only beat down to 10 men. Another point that we got Ipswich. Again, Ipswich were down to 10 men, could only get a point from that. So, yeah, we got a point first game of the season against Spurs. That was a good result, absolutely. And fans said it at the time, and I said it at the time, that's a really good result. But other than that, the performances have been absolutely shocking. They've been poor. And I just find it absolutely amazing, like crazy, that Dor, a fan of a club that sacked Steve Cooper, when outside of the bottom three, are trying to give Leicester a hard time for doing the exact same thing.
Go on, Dor. I'll let you come in, bruv.
Right. So that's a stupid thing you just said about he got sacked being forced to be 17th in the second Premier League second season, yeah? Second season, not first season. He kept Forest up in the first season, if you know that.
Yeah.
So what's your point on that? I still don't understand what you're trying to say. He got sacked in the second season.
What were your aims the second season, Dor? Was it to stay up? Because he had
you
outside the bottom three. So why sack him? You were in 17th. You were in 17th, and you sacked him.
Do you know the background?
What's the background, mate? Tell me.
Listen, I don't want to say much, and Dave will know the issue he had with the owner, Mr. Marinakis. That was a problem. Okay, it was nothing to do with the performance on the pitch. It was his relationship with Mr. Marinakis. Nothing to do with the performances. If Forest stayed up, if his relationship with Marinakis was good.
So it's nothing to do with the 5-0 loss you had to Fulham just before he was sacked as well, yeah? Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with what happened on the pitch.
Did he get sacked after the game?
Not long after.
But what game did
How
he
many
get sacked?
games after was it? How many games after was it to the 5-0
drawn
loss?
1-1 with Wolves, and then we lost 2-0 to Spurs.
So 2 games after you lost 5-0.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with what happened on the pitch.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But your argument was saying Steve Cooper came to Leicester, 12 games and gets sacked. Steve Cooper came to the Premier League, stayed up first season with so much pressure on him. David was vouching from there, bringing 30 players in. He didn't. It wasn't him who brought all his players in. He asked for more Gibbs White, and a few other players. But you can't argue with saying to me with Steve Cooper's remit of let's put it straight. You got Steve Cooper.
Yep.
And then after 12 games, his performance was rubbish. Then they get rid of him.
Yeah.
But his remit was to stay in the Premier League, and he's 17.
And it was for you. And it was for you. It was at Forest as well.
If you're using the bottom three, fair enough. But you wasn't.
It's not fair enough, though, Dor, because you would have said the same. If we were 18th, you would say the same. It's only 12 games. It's only 12 games. Yeah, you would. Dor. Because you love him.
Maybe.
You love him.
You're 17th in blocks. You're 17th in the Premier League, and that's all. You got rid of him because you lot. Because he's forward connected. Blah blah. This and that.
You did the same. You did the same, Dor. You sacked him when you were 16.
In the second season, Locks.
And you still did it. So he kept you up. He had the credit in the bank, and you still sacked him. You still sacked him. He had the credit in the bank.
Yeah, the second season.
Yeah, exactly.
Season, the second.
And you just said your remit was to stay up. You just said his remit was to stay up, and he had you in 17.
What did I just say? Because of his relationship with Mr. Marinakis.
And guess what? He had no relationship with the Leicester players or the Leicester owners. They all hated him as well, by the way.
The Leicester players are clans. The Leicester players are clans for what they did. And everyone in Power knows about it.
Is Marinakis a clown? Is Marinakis a clown? Is Marinakis a clown?
Do you think, the players go to Chim and say, Steve Cooper, go? That's wrong.
Is Marinakis a clown? Is Marinakis a clown?
Dave, take over, Dave.
It is. I tell you what, though.
He won't answer it.
How do you feel about the players, though, with the "we miss you" stuff?
That's very poor. Very out of order. But can you sack 11 players? You can't. You sack the manager. No. Yeah. How football works.
Right.
Is there a part of you, Dave, that wants to see Leicester go down now? Because
of course they do. Of course they do.
No. Right. This is my argument, right? And this is what you said, Locke, to me, right? Steve Cooper isn't a legend at Forest. Is that what you think?
I said what?
You said Steve Cooper's not a legend at Forest.
I didn't say that. I've
yes,
never
you did. Yes,
no, I've not.
Look
back. What are you talking about?
Look back in the WhatsApp group. Look back in the WhatsApp group. Look back in the WhatsApp group and say, I said to you, this is what you said. Some Forest fans think he's not a legend at Forest. That's what you said.
Well,
all right. I've just done one search of the word legend and nothing's come up in my name. Mate. So I've got no idea what you're talking about.
He wasn't a legend. You said he wasn't a legend. That's what you said.
No, Sam. Is there anything there about me saying he's not a legend? Because I don't.
You said he
was talking about. Are we talking about you two or Steve Cooper?
Legend, something like that. I do remember it.
I said Steve Cooper.
Do you remember, Joe?
Yeah,
Steve,
yeah.
He don't. He's chatting shit. Well, there's no fucking proof of it. Right. I said what I have said.
You know what? I typed in the word legend, and the person who's come up the most is Joe, and that's talking about Southgate by the looks of it.
That's about right.
The one thing I've said is the reason that Cooper is loved so much at Forest is because of what he did the year
before. Usually he wasn't a legend at Forest.
It's keep taking you up. I did. Well, there's no proof of it, Dor, so I don't know where you're imagining this
from. I'll find it. When I do, I'll screenshot it. I put
clearly me and Sam aren't good enough at looking for it.
Or Cardiff want you. Or I think the job he's made for is Wrexham when Parkinson goes from Wrexham. I think he's perfect for Wrexham. He's from Wrexham.
That's more his level, mate. Yeah.
That is his level. But I think, the thing is, you say that's his level, but the level was he kept us up. In a season where he had 30 guys. He had 30 guys thrown at him. We were on this show, I think.
I do think his level's a championship, by the way. I'm joking with Wrexham. I think it's a championship. I genuinely believe. That is the level I think he's at.
Oh, he's a Premier League manager.
Mate, no Premier League club. There is no fan that Dan has on this channel.
He just went to Leicester in the wrong place, wrong time.
There is no fan that comes on this channel in the Premier League that will say, I want Steve Cooper back. And the best part is you wouldn't even take him back. And you say
what was going to apply to you, What was going to apply to you?
Yeah, you don't take back ex-managers.
Thank you. That's all.
That's nice. So, well, there we go then. Well, it's true then. It's true then. No fan.
West Ham took David Moyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me get this right.
I may take him back again. Who knows? I mean, how many times? How many lives at West Ham has Moyes got? But you know, the thing is, you say Steve Cooper's level is not the Premier League. So what level is Vincent Kompany's? Right, for example. We don't know Ruud's level yet. With all due respect to Ruud, who I've got a lot of time for as a bloke, you know. I mean, the thing is, like, Leicester have just taken 4 points, but I watched the West Ham game and I just thought the script is written for Ruud to win this, and he did. But you know, West Ham could have got something out of that game. And where I get off on Leicester is there seems to be we're back, and I'm going whoa, hang on, Tiger. Tell me you're back at the end of the season.
Everyone does it. Everyone does it, Dave.
I don't.
You believe though, there's how many teams worse than Leicester in the league?
Right now, I think there's 4 teams worse than Leicester.
That's gone down, hasn't it? Because you said there was a lot.
It was 5. It was 5, Joe. It was 5.
So what? Which teams are worse than Leicester?
Answer it, Locks.
I think Southampton are worse. I think Ipswich are worse. I think Wolves are worse, and I think Everton
Wolves are not worse than you.
I think they are. We'll disagree. I think they are.
Would Cunha walk into your side? I think he would.
Yeah, he would. He would.
Would Stan Larson walk
some of our players, some of our Facundo Buonanotte, who's on loan. He's not our player, I know, but he plays for Leicester this season.
So what are you on about then? Oh,
so you're on about right now.
No. What, when he goes back to Brighton? Right, so go on, next.
So are we not on about this season, Joe? Should we talk about next year instead, mate?
Next. Go on,
you want to talk about next season? Do you want to talk about next season, Joe? Buonanotte goes in.
Where at?
Anywhere, mate.
At
Anywhere.
At Why is he at Leicester then?
No idea. I asked myself.
You know what I mean? Like, go on. Who next then? Buonanotte.
Brighton last season. He played 23 for Brighton last season.
Right. Buonanotte. Right. Next one.
Coley.
Hermanson, the keeper.
Gets him where? He's a good keeper, by the way.
He's the best player at Leicester.
He gets in all of the bottom 5, I think.
No, I wouldn't have said that.
Yes, he does. What are you talking about?
Joe, this is the only time. This is the only time I agree with Locks.
Not over Dean Henderson.
He's a good goalkeeper.
So you got Dean Henderson. Who else?
Mads Hermansen will be at a top 6 club in the summer. I believe it. He will be at a top 6 club in the summer. I'm convinced. Chelsea, maybe. Chelsea probably under Maresca. That's what I think. That's what I think will happen.
If Jamie Vardy left, being such a talisman for so long, what effect would that have on that squad? Because I think he, by the sheer force of his personality, the sheer force of his reputation.
If you've let him get away, man, what other players, man? Don't let him wriggle away. What other players are better?
This is the first time I've really enjoyed Joe being on this show for ages, mate. It's really good.
Joe, do you remember, mate? You did say that Ipswich's squad.
Hermanson. Who else?
Gets in whose squad? Whose squad are you talking about?
Bottom 5.
Them ones that are worse than yours. So Everton's worse than yours. Wolves are worse than yours.
Well, each player gets in different teams. Obviously, I'm not saying.
So tell me which one. So you give us Buonanotte.
Answer the damn question, man.
What question? Which player gets in what team?
What you just saying, man?
What team, bro? What team?
The bottom 5.
Give me some good players at your team.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, mate. Jamie Vardy gets in some of the bottom 5 teams. He gets in a couple of the bottom 5 teams.
He's about 40. Go on, next.
Buonanotte, Jamie Vardy, keeper. None of your backline, do you? Not that.
Harry Winks, Oliver Skip, Jordan Ayew.
By the way, and you talk about my bad opinions. I wasn't up for the Oliver Skip signing. Joe had to convince me. Joe thought it was a great signing at the time. Didn't you, Joe? Yeah,
was he not playing?
Yeah, let me finish. Oliver Skip was a good signing for Leicester City. Yeah, he was.
Not 20 million though. Jesus Christ.
We can talk about.
I think Ndidi gets in a couple of them teams. A couple of the teams. Winks gets in a couple of the teams.
No, he doesn't.
Yes,
Harry Winks. Harry Winks is shit.
Harry Winks made Leeds look like fucking mate. Harry Winks made Leeds look League One last season, mate. In midfield.
Is that what?
Mate.
So is that in both games where we beat you?
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we beat you, mate.
Harry Winks going to your Bournemouth team?
Hang on. So a guy was
your Crystal's team.
Hang on, Dor.
Would he go in your team?
Ask the Bournemouth fan, yeah.
Our team looked like League One, yet we beat you in both games.
Mate, he was great in both games. I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
folks.
Yeah, if we can agree on something, the fault really lies with the ownership for not reading succinctly and sufficiently the wishes of its fan base. Now, with us, I think, like with Nuno, for example, I mean, Marinakis has got a lot of things wrong. He's been eccentric and undignified at times in a way that, to me, has not suited the look I want for my club. But he's by and large got it right. And with Nuno,
according to he must be a clown because he fell out of Cooper. He must be a clown because apparently whoever falls out of Cooper's a clown, according to Dor. So that's what you said, mate. That's what you said about the rest of the players. They're clowns because they fell out with Cooper. So
but you're clowns though. You're clowns though.
Because they didn't like Cooper. Because they didn't like Cooper.
Come on, they are clowns. Everyone you just said it. The clowns for what he did.
They fell out with Cooper, so they're clowns. Like you.
So what are they then?
Irona must be a clown.
Anyway.
What game was it? Crystal Palace away. Since then, there wasn't. The relationship was going downhill. So
interesting.
Yeah, I tell you what, Rich, that was such a lovely sunny day, mate, and we were safe. It was the first game. It was probably the first game.
Was that the first season when Steve Cooper kept Forest up? Loxley's just telling Loxley to know. No, to confirm. You keep saying 7. Dave, was that the season that Steve Cooper? Forest.
Yeah, we finished 16th. Okay. Off the back of Steve Cooper. Yeah.
Not a problem.
Dor.
Okay. No, change the subject. No problem.
Yeah, you don't want me to respond because you know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know what I'm going to say.
Say whatever you want to say.
I'm going to say once again for the 100th time to you, you sacked Steve Cooper when you were outside of the bottom 3. I don't know how many times.
Second season.
Why does it matter what season it was? If anything, it's worse.
You kept saying it.
That's even worse. It's even worse.
That's what you kept
saying.
Worse.
All right, one question, Dan. Right, one question for Dor.
Yeah, go on.
Dor, you said the other day it was time. It was time. It was time to get rid. So were you Cooper out at that point?
I think it was time. It was time for him to go.
Were you Cooper out? Did you want him gone?
50-50, I was, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Why were you 50-50 on a manager who had you outside the bottom 3?
Well,
and you said that was his reason.
The form doesn't lie. We didn't win it. Is it 14 games, Dave?
Exactly. The performance, the form. You could see it going down. You could see it going down, man. You could see it getting worse.
So you're saying it. Our situation was the same as yours. No, it wasn't. Come on.
Why wasn't it the same? Why wasn't it the same? Why wasn't it the same? Why wasn't
we're going around in circles?
Why wasn't it the same? Why was it not the same?
Just getting that spoon, man.
I'm genuinely curious. I want to know. What was the difference?
I think maybe because the body of work with Nottingham Forest was longer than the body of work with Leicester City.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you.
Maybe.
So he had more credit in the bank, Dave, and you still sacked him.
12 Locks be ungrateful to what he's done.
You know what it is, Dave? Because Locks he keeps talking to other Forest fans who Cooper out in the first season. That's all it is, Locks.
Which they're entitled to that opinion.
No, let's keep it real. You kept talking to other Forest fans who wanted Cooper out. And now you listen to them.
I wanted Cooper out. I wanted Cooper out the day that he.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I wanted Cooper out the day he joined, mate. Before
Dave. No, Locks.
Before I spoke,
what I'm trying to say, you've listened to other Forest fans who's Cooper out, and now because me and Dave are the opposite, wants Cooper in. Oh, some Forest fans want Cooper out. Listen, we're not. I'm not that person. I'm Cooper in.
But the thing is.
I actually don't know what you're talking about, and I've got no idea where you're going with this because I've spoken to some Forest fans that didn't like Cooper. Yes. That's got nothing to do with why. So you think that's why I don't like him?
No. You right? No, it doesn't matter. Fuck it. Because we're running circles with it.
Next week, did you know next week marks the anniversary of his sacking from Forest? How many places have you gained since then, mate?
Listen to me. I'm not going around that circle.
Isn't hindsight
How many?
precise?
How many?
Around that circle. Listen to me. I'm not going fish rod on that.
Could you ever see Forest being fifth under Cooper? Could you ever see Forest being fifth under Cooper?
If, but maybe, isn't it?
Who knows?